This is Africa, the cradle of mankind's birth, where powerful kingdoms arose with stories of worth, exemplary leaders, their legacy told, Nkrumah, Mandela, their spirits bold. Let courage and dreams unite as one for a brighter tomorrow where greatness is spun. In this beautiful, colorful, and friendly domain, greatness awaits, where hopes shall not wane, where tales of triumph weave a tapestry. Welcome to Today in African History. Pictured here is Mamphela Aletta Ramphele, born on this day, December 28, 1947. She is a South African politician, anti-apartheid activist, medical doctor, and businesswoman. She was a partner of anti-apartheid activist Steve Biko, with whom she had 2 children. She is a former vice-chancellor at the University of Cape Town and the former managing director at the World Bank. Ramphele founded political party Agang South Africa in February 2013, but withdrew from politics in July 2014. Since July 2018, she has been the co-president of the Club of Rome. Ramphele, a Mopedi, was born in the Bochum district in northern Transvaal, now Limpopo, in South Africa. She completed her schooling at Setolwane High School in 1966 and subsequently enrolled for pre-medical courses at the University of the North. Her mother ran Goato Rehab and her father, Pitsi Eliphaz Ramphele, were primary school teachers. In 1944, her father was promoted as headmaster of Stephanus Hofmeyr School. Ramphele contracted severe whooping cough at the age of just 3 months. The wife of the local church minister, Dominique Lucas van der Merwe, gave her mother medical advice and bought medicines for the sick child that saved her life. Wow, how nice. In 1955, Ramphele witnessed a conflict between a racist Afrikaner church minister, interesting, and the people of the village of Kransport. This contributed to her political awakening. Ramphele attended the G.H. Franz Secondary School, but in January of 1962, she left for Bethesda Normal School, a boarding school which was part of the Bethesda Teachers Training College. In 1964, she moved to Setolwane High School for her matriculation, where she was one of only 2 girls in her class. On completion of her schooling in 1967, Ramphele enrolled for pre-medical courses at the University of the North. In 1968, she was accepted into the University of Natal Medical School, then the only institution that allowed black students to enroll without prior permission from the government. Wow. Her meager financial resources meant that she was forced to borrow money to travel to the Natal Medical School, now the Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela Medical School. Ramphele won the 1968 South African Jewish Women's Association Scholarship and the Sir Ernest Oppenheimer bursary worth about 150 Rand annually for the rest of her years at medical school. Ramphele received her Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, MB-CHB from the University of Natal, a BCom in Administration from the University of South Africa, as well as diplomas in Tropical Health and Hygiene and Public Health from the University of the Witwatersrand. In 1991, she received her PhD in social anthropology from the University of Cape Town. Ramphele has also authored and edited a number of books. Wow, what a woman. Medical doctor, she's got an MD and she's got a PhD as well. There's no stopping this woman, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to her activism. While at university, Ramphele became increasingly involved in student politics and anti-apartheid activism, becoming one of the founders of the Black Consciousness Movement, the BCM, where she met Steve Biko, with whom she had a relationship. As a member of the BCM, she was crucially involved in organizing and working with community development programs. Biko and Ramphele had 2 children during their affair. Lerato Biko, born in 1974, and Humelo Biko, born in 1978. Lerato contracted fatal pneumonia when she was 2 months old. Her son, Humelo Biko, was born after Biko's death. Ramphele and her son would eventually work together in the Circle Group, holding company for their family investments. Ramphele worked with the South African Students Organization, the SASO, a breakaway from the National Union of South African Students, the NUSAS, that operated on English-speaking white campuses. NUSAS had black and white students as members. SASO was formed in 1969 under the leadership of Steve Biko. From 1970 onwards, Ramphele became increasingly drawn into political activism with Biko, Bani Pitiana, and other student activists at the medical school. She was elected the chairperson of the local SASO branch. Ramphele received her qualification in medicine in 1972. She began her medical internship at Durban's King Edward VIII Hospital after transferring to Livingstone Hospital in Port Elizabeth. In 1974, Ramphele was charged under the Suppression of Communism Act for being in possession of banned literature. In 1975, she founded the Zampilo Community Health Center in Zinyoka, a village outside King Williamstown. It was one of the first primary healthcare initiatives outside the public sector in South Africa. During this time, she was also the manager of the Eastern Cape branch of the Black Community Health Program. She traveled extensively in the Eastern Cape, organizing people to be drawn into community projects. In addition to her medical duties, Ramphele also became the director of the Black Community Programs, the BCP, in the Eastern Cape, where Biko was banned. In August of 1976, Ramphele was detained under Section 17 of the Terrorism Act, one of the first persons to be detained under this newly promulgated law. In April of 1977, Ramphele was issued with banning orders and banished to Zanim, North Transvaal, where she remained until 1984. Wow. So her husband was killed in the late 70s. So around that same time, she was issued with banning orders, banished, and she remained there for 7 years. A member of the local church arranged for her to live with 2 African nuns in a local village, Tiki Line, in a local village called Tiki Line, or Tiki Line. I think it's Tiki Line. She later established a home for herself in Lenyenye Township near Zanian, although she remained under police surveillance. During her stay in Zanian, Ramphele established the Isothen Community Health Program with monetary aid from the BCP. This foundation was used to empower local women and aid them in growing vegetable gardens, amongst other initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a pause here. You know, when someone is determined to do something, nothing and no one can stop them. You know, this is just a prime example of a woman who would not be silenced, would never be stopped. She was in, I don't want to say solitary confinement. She was banished. And in her banishment, she was empowering local women. That is so hilarious. You know, it's so hilarious and it's so encouraging as well. You know, just it makes one smile, because when you look at history, those who have changed history, they have suffered severe opposition, and yet in spite of the opposition, they still did what they wanted to do. No one could stop them. Some of them were killed, MLK is one of them, Malcolm X is another name that we can think of. There are other black people around the world who were gunned down in their prime, but it never ever stopped the movement. In fact, when those people were suppressed, when those people were killed, their followers rose up and made sure that their dreams, the dreams of these martyrs, were fulfilled. So if anyone thinks that they can stop people, anyone who is passionate about improving the lot of his fellow human beings, who wants to do good for society, who hates injustice, just like I do. I'm sure you can tell in my voice that I hate injustice. Just go and do what you need to do. Even if you are gone down in your prime, or you're murdered or whatever, the government tries to shut you down, there are people who are going to rise. Millions and millions of people will rise. The movement is even going to be more powerful. This is the story of African freedom fighters, African Americans like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. There's so many around the world. There are many in Europe, on the African continent, in Asia, in South America, people who are speaking up against injustice and against prejudice, against racism. So guys, thank you for joining us today, December 28th. I hope you enjoy what we're sharing here. All I'm doing is trying to encourage us as Africans to believe in ourselves, believe in our continent as well, believe in our people, come together as one to build a united and strong Africa. See you tomorrow, December 29th. Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And it's hasta la vista for now. Bye-bye.